I want to do an insight video about shifting awareness, consciousness, frequencies, and just sort of like overall sort of spiritual realities and realms. This very much connects to like the third and fourth dimension and the fifth dimension, but it also relates to shifting of consciousness, shifting of energy, shifting of reality and experience. Because I think a lot of people. I read. I'm part of a few groups like on Facebook, and I always just sort of read around and see what spiritual growth and awareness groups and the kind of things that people are experiencing and talking about. And a lot of people are talking about shifts, and they're talking about shifts like in consciousness or awakening. And when awakening happens, it sort of like it very shifts the whole reality. Well, this is how awakening is really to a degree. Awakening does shift your reality, shifts your consciousness, so you see things in a different way. You see them in a different light. You see with different eyes, and also sort of relationships can be sort of like change, your relationships with people and relationships with others. And you can even sort of like, if you shift to a different consciousness and a different frequency and energy frequency, if somebody that you've known for years is on a different consciousness or a different frequency, sometimes that sort of connection that you have can sort of change, and it can do like with relationships that you're in as well. Where you're in sort of like loving relationships with people, they can shift, because as soon as your consciousness shifts, your whole reality shifts, and when your whole reality shifts, then the world doesn't look the same anymore, and things that sort of made sense to you don't necessarily make sense. So it's a really important sort of thing to do, and to sort of understand and get a distinction, because it's quite difficult sometimes when you move from the third dimension to the fourth dimension, where you start becoming aware of those spiritual realms, those spiritual sort of like beings around you, and you start to become aware of the universe and the spiritual sort of flow of energy and the divine intelligence, all those kind of things. When you start to shift into that, then the world doesn't look the same anymore. You're not just connected or attached to the outer world, like with your job and the political system and what's going on in the news and materialism and all those kind of things. They're not necessarily the things they're not the things that sort of make sense to you. They don't sort of like connect to you in that way. Your energy's shifted, your energy's changed. Because in the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension, it's all about balance, harmony. It's all about the law of oneness, that all things are interconnected, nothing is separate. So in that sense, you start to realize that the world and the spiritual world is around us and connected to us, but is also part of us and part of our reality. And this is where you start to open up, and this is where you start to connect with these beings, these other beings from different dimensions, where you talk about like different realities. So you've got like fifth dimension reality, which is the spiritual reality, which is the energetic world. It's beyond. We can't see it at the moment because we're not on that frequency. You can sense it and feel it, and you will get visions of it, and you will get sort of like senses and impressions that this world and these energies are around you, because they are here, because they're not disconnected. However, it's very different. It's a very different reality. And as we start to shift, we start to become connected to that more and more. So yeah, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this awakening, because it's happening to a lot of people, and a lot of people are sort of like discussing about the emotions they're feeling, because it brings, it's like when an energy aligns with you that is more of a spiritual reality or spiritual sort of frequency. Spirituality and spiritual frequencies are about oneness. They're about harmony. They're about balance. They're about peace. All these things that that we all strive for. So what that will do is, when that frequency activates within you, it will heal. It will harmonize. It will try and balance anything that's not balanced. So it could be trauma. It could be energy. It could be energy within your sort of energy field that it will release. So as that happens, first of all, it releases through you, then it releases within the Earth's atmosphere as well, like the energy of the Earth. So it's about sort of, and this is why it's so important as we start to cleanse and clear, that we also send our energy out, or send our intention, or our conscious thought out to heal the planet when this happens as well. And this is what a lot of people are talking about when they talk about being collective as well. That they know that, you know, this is why they do prayers for the planet, or they pray for, you know, countries that are going through turmoil like Ukraine and things like that. Isn't that's something out of balance? And they know deep down within their true nature and the spiritual reality, everything needs to be in balance. But everything is about being in balance. You know, there's supposed to be harmony in everything, and this is how the law of oneness works within the universe, within the spirit world. So, where there's disharmony, that, you know, this is where you need to bring things back into harmony. And this is how it works on your daily sort of experience and reality as well. As things shift, you know that you need to bring things back into harmony. And this is what's happening on a spiritual level as well. That when you connect and align and activate those new frequencies try and bring your spirit, your energy back into harmony, in harmony with the source. And this is what's going on. And this is the fifth dimension. It's been in that connection, in that harmony with the source. And once you start to do that, then it obviously that releases lots of things that are maybe stuck or blocked. And this is what people are feeling. They're feeling these emotional releases, but they're feeling emotional releases because the spiritual energy is harmonizing in their own energy field, and it's releasing the disharmony. And then it's coming out in emotions, in stuff, in lots of stuff that's been held onto maybe for a long time as well. A lot of energy that's been stuck and it's being released. This is why it's so important to be in peace and harmony at the moment, at this time, because there's so much going on. And as we move more into harmony, then we start to move into that fourth dimension and that fifth dimension, which is where spiritual beings we should be. The third dimension is a physical reality, but we're not physical beings, we're energetic beings. That is our true nature, that's our essence. So our essence and our nature is trying to get back to what it's to its true form, its true nature. It's trying to express its light in that way. And that's what's going on with a lot of us at the moment. We're trying to express ourselves as light beings. And this is where these light bodies come from, because the energies are coming down and they're connecting to our own energy fields to activate that essence, that light within each of us. And this is what's going on, and this is what's going on with the planet, this is what's going on with us. So also what happens in spiritual realities and realms is also connected to here. So everything that's happening, and you know, in these fifth dimensions and these other realities and these other realms are connected to this planet, and we're connected to that because we're part of the same whole. So everything that's changing and everything that's changing and happening is about bringing back into harmony. And that's what these spiritual realities, these spiritual entities, these spiritual beings want to bring us back into our essence. They want us to express our light, our energy, and they want us to come back into that union and come back into that, you know, back into harmony with the rest of the realities. Because at the moment we're quite separate. We're separate because we're still going through, you know, energy crisis, politics. We're going through like COVID. We're going through, you know, the economy crash. But all of these are a reflection of trying to come back into balance with all of us at the moment. You know, it's also they're a reminder that you know, there is the third dimension is not the true reality. The fourth and the fifth dimension is the energetic realities, and it's about bringing us back into that. Everything physical is just third dimension. It's the outer world, but it's a physical world, but it's not the true reality. And this is what we're trying to be brought back into. This is what the ascended masters are doing. This is what the angelic guides are doing. This is what the other spiritual entities and beings are doing. This is where the energy frequencies are opening up. This is why these, you know, you've seen a shift in sacred sites and other that they're being used to bring these energies, these frequencies down. This is what the Lion's Gate's about. You know, it's about, you know, they're talking about lunar eclipses, they're talking about the Lion's Gate, they're talking about all these things. It's aligning again. It's aligning us back into that frequency, so that we're back connected and aligned with those other frequencies, those other realities. And this is what this ascension's about. This is what this awakening's about. And this is what's happening to the planet. I mean, I see it every day. I look out into the trees, they're vibrating with beautiful purple universal light. there's light columns coming down into the trees, and I'm also seeing sort of like golden pyramids on the planet. So I know that there's a shifting happening, and there's like all of these are symbolic, you know. Golden triangle, or golden is like ancient wisdom. It's like alchemy. It's like the source, but it's also golden. Like triangles are like symbolic of sort of like heaven and earth. You see a diamond, it's two triangles. It connects heaven and earth. It's bringing, you know, so it bringing us back into line with that frequency. The triangle or pyramid in Egyptian days was a portal to the next world. So again, it's about that opening. It's about a gateway. So I know that all of these kind of things that are going on are very symbolic of these new energies that are coming. It's about us just sort of aligning and staying in yeah, aligning with them, but also sort of opening our frequencies to it. And it's quite difficult at the moment because there's, you know, we're still attached to the third dimension, but we are attached to it. But what's also going on is this is the only exchange frequency we have at the moment, money. But it's not the exchange frequency that the universe works on. And as spiritual beings, we know that's not what the exchange is. We don't work on that exchange. We work on energy. We work on light. We're light beings. We're energy and light beings. We're not physical beings that are just about money. So it's a very difficult situation at the moment because we're trying to move and align and awaken, but we've only got this kind of system at the moment, and this is one of the problems with trying to ascend at the moment, and it's trying to sort of keep your frequency high and remain in that high sort of third, fourth, and fifth dimension reality is by trying to remain spiritual, remain expressing your light, remain expressing your energy in that way, and try and stay peaceful, try and stay calm, try and stay in harmony, which is very difficult in a chaotic world. I've been feeling a lot of anxiety lately, and you know, I'm not sort of like I'm not ashamed to admit there's a lot of anxiety at the moment. And when you're a spiritual and sensitive being, you will feel that. You'll feel it for the planet, but you'll also feel it for yourself. But again, the energy frequencies that are shifting on the planet are connected to you, so they will affect you individually because you are part of the same whole. You know, the same sort of whatever's happening in the spiritual realities, you are connected to. So you will feel them on some level. You will sense them on some level. If you're a sensitive being that are open to your own energy frequency, you will sense them. So to me, it's like it's not unusual to feel those ripples that come from, you know, from the other realities and the other realms, but also, you know, the ripples that are affecting us on this planet. You know, we're all individually, our light is connected to that like law of oneness, that wholeness, the source. And the source, whatever changes and shifts to the source, whatever's happening within the other realities and is connected to the source is also connected to us because we're connected to it. So in that sense, it's quite normal that we're all feeling this. So all these symptoms and these signs that everybody is feeling, it's normal. You're awakening. Your consciousness is shifting. Your energy is shifting. Your energy frequency is shifting. And when that happens, the world will look a different place, and it's meant to. It's meant to look like a different place. That's the point of the awakening, the shifting, ascension. One of the key things for you as a spiritual being is how you integrate that. I mean, I keep talking about integration, and it's one of the most important things because those frequencies then need to align, and then they need to express themselves through your reality, in your life, through your energy, in your everyday, you know. And that's about the transparency. This is what's needed. As the energy is open, it's about how do you express that light? How do you express your light? How do you express that light in your reality, in your daily sort of practice, your daily sort of conscious thought? And this is what it's all about. This is what the shifting is about, the awakening is about, and this is how the mass shifting, the mass collective shifting is going to happen when we start to all awaken, and we start to. And I know when I'm talking about this is right because my heart chakra is like a beacon of light coming out of it right now, and so is my throat chakra, but also my third eye, and there's light flying through all of them. I can feel it just as I'm talking about this. I can just feel it shooting out to the universe, completely up. So I know that there's that connection because I can see it shooting right up to the universe. So I know, but also as I'm looking at myself on the computer screen, I can see energy. I can see like a white mist and energy around me, and that's starting to like vibrate. So when when I've got stages where I've vibrated, where I feel like I've vibrated on a really like harmonious level of energy, I become like translucent. I become invisible, and it's like the energy just. It's like you just become a color. You just become an energy, and I've seen this a couple of times. So I know when that sort of frequency is rising, you just become this energy frequency. You don't feel physical anymore. You just feel a vibration. You just feel a frequency. And this has happened a few times. So I mean, I know as I'm talking about this, this is what it's kind of starting to feel like. And I can also see like a nice little golden light around sort of like my clothes and stuff like that. So I know the energy, the source energy is coming down, it's connecting, it's dissolving, and it's sort of like it's heightening and bringing this sort of heightened awareness. So that's the insight for today.